head off. And the first wave get underway. Good start by Tom Hill there. And he is not going to lead them into the first corner as the second group of cars gets away. Relatively quick 10 seconds that seemed to be, but nevertheless it looks like Andrew Bourke has made the best of the starts there. It is the car from pole position though overall that is leading the way, I think. So that is Scott Austin, number 156, the double winner from Silverstone, that is out in front at the moment, from Hill in second place, and there the Twin Spark Cup cars going through Clervaux Corner for the first time, and I expect they will have a good battle of stick together all of the way through this race.
Obviously got the Andy Page car, which has now been dropped back to the tail of that first group of 6, and that looks like a meaty device, doesn't it? From a bygone era of Alfa. It's a very square car of Andy Page there, Giulietta.
Yeah.
116.
There's Scott Austin then in the lead, number 156.
Good handling cars. You can see that they do. Look at this, bit of on-board stuff through the Jim Clark S's.
James Ford is who we're on board with. He started third within the Twin Spark, but I think he's still third. I think that's just 2 cars ahead of them. One of them is Andrew Bourke. Yeah,
Bourke leads that group, doesn't he? And the white car through is
John Billingsley, isn't it? Number 8.
Billingsley, yes.
Yeah. So and those two running very close together. They're heading down towards the complex now. The overall leaders are already out of the hairpin. But yep, good view this from James Ford's squad. He's got another car right behind him as well, which we'll pick up in a second.
That's the Bianco Motorsport car. That's Toby Broom, I suspect it is.
May well be, yep. Yes, it is the 33 car. So I told you that these cars would stick together, have a good battle, and they have done that so far. Just dropping off the back a little bit is number 100, Robin Horn. Out front overall though, it is Scott Austin getting away from the rest of the field. Tom Hill still in second place, and in third place number 5, the long-time Alfa Romeo racer Graham Seeger. That's the number 14 car of Andy Page. And then here's the Twin Spark Cup battle. Andrew Bourke, number 86, and John Billingsley, number 8, is late on the brakes. He throws the car up the inside of Bourke to get the lead of the Twin Spark Cup class, and he's done it. And they're catching, yes, Page is going to pull off in the number 14 car by the looks of it, so he's out of the race. So they don't need to worry about him, but that was a good move there from John Billingsley to get the lead of the Twin Spark Cup class.
Yep, and did an absolutely classic job on it. Let's see whether Bourke can counter-attack. 2 and 2. One of them, Ford's car, they're pogoing through the corner at Sunny. Austin continues to lead from Tom Hill. Behind in third place will be the car of Graham Seeger. We've got a pair coming through next, Inman and Iaccarino. And then, of course, we've lost Page on the exit of Tower between there and Jim Clark S's.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Twin Spark Cup car's just getting across the line there. The rear of that group being brought up by the number 9 car, which is Richard Ford, the finance director from Gainsborough. His brother James is a couple of places ahead of him on the road. There's Richard, though, started racing in 2014. He's the 2021 Twin Spark Cup champion. He also holds the Silverstone National Lap record as well. Up towards the front, there's the Iaccarino number 97 car that's running in 5th place overall, chasing Andy Inman's 156 GTA. As it makes its way through the left and right sweep at the Jim Clark S's towards Sunny. So a nice little scrap between these two.
Yeah, but the left hooker car of Iaccarino, the black one, chasing own problems for the leader, and
it's not sounding happy, that car, is it?
Very slow out of the hairpin.
Yeah, well, it's looking at the lap time as he crosses the line that time. It's not yet updated itself on my screen, unfortunately. but he's still there. He's still out front, Scott Austin.
By a goodly margin, too.
Yeah. Absolutely. There's Tom Hill in second place. There's the race leader. He's got 2 wheels on the grass there on the straight, and I'm not sure what that's all about. He sort of passed the exit of the chicane. And look to see if we can spot anything. That it does go very light at the back, doesn't it?
It's also very softly sprung on the front. You can see it.
Yeah.
Sort of, I think it's maybe a suspension problem on that car, or maybe steering. Maybe he's clunked a curb and just sort of knocked the tracking out.
In which case, can he continue for the next 14 minutes of this race? There he is, making his way through. But yeah, it could well be a suspension issue on that 156 car now for Scott Austin. But he does have this big lead. He's as much quicker in qualifying. He's in a different class. He's actually the only modified car still running. The other one was Andy Page, who's out of this race. The other 4 cars won from the first wave of V6 class cars. Yeah, that suspension issue I think is going to hurt him from now on, possibly. It'll be interesting to see if Tom Hill can close the gap to any extent. Last time through, 1:32 for Scott Austin. See if, yeah, that time was a 1:33.61, so it's not losing too much time because of it.
It's still, what, 3 points?
It's got out actually to 4.3.
4.3 now.
Yeah. This is the battle in for 3rd place within the Twin Spark Cup class between James Ford, number 23, and Toby Broom in 33. So James Ford from Lincoln, a clinical pharmacist by occupation. He started racing a little bit longer ago than his brother, back in 2010. He was the Twin Spark Cup winner in 2013, and he won 2 races last year, but he's doing well to hold on to 3rd place here from Toby Broom. Very close scrap between those 2. They're about 3 seconds or so behind the 2 leaders within that class. It is still John Billingsley that's ahead of Andrew Bork, the former champion in the Twin Spark Cup division. That's the Bianco liveried car. Bianco, who prepares some of the cars in this championship. 12.5 minutes left to go. Towards Tower.
I think whatever happened with the leader, he got it sussed, found out that it wasn't anything particularly serious, and now he's obviously much harder on the throttle than he had been a couple of laps ago.
That's right. That lap back into the 32s again, as if to make the point. This is the fight for 3rd in the Twin Spark Cup then. And they've got Richard Ford, James's brother, just a little way behind them. I think he's actually closing on them a bit. Certainly on the last lap he was lapping in very similar times to the 2 cars ahead of him. So we'll see if he can make it a 3-car scrap for 3rd place. He's a little bit further ahead than Robin Hall, who's just in a personal best lap, but is a bit further down the field. Twin Spark Cup. Not maintaining contact with the first 5. We're separated by very little at the moment.
Just wondering whether the second of the Ford cars can join them and make it a proper 3-car battle. Looks like it's benefiting from chasing, just trying to break in the same position or fractionally later than those ahead of him, preferably carrying some speed into the corners.
The leader's just been off the road. The 156 car of Scott Austin is back on it now, as you can see, but the gap to Tom Hill has come down. It was 6 seconds at the beginning of the lap. It has come down now, so maybe the ill handling of his car is causing him some issues.
Something out there is fighting him.
That's right. So watching him now go through Clervaux with Tom Hill and the
1.98 between them.
Yes, that's 4 seconds he lost, or just over 4 seconds he lost on that lap. Blue flags being shown. So that's the back marker Robin Hall that they're going to lap at Tower Corner.
It's going to inconvenience the chaser, Tom Hill. Not if he's quick on the exit. And the yellow car stays out wide, Robin Hall.
Yeah, Tom Hill easily able to get through past him, a former 4-time champion Tom Hill, mostly I think in the Twin Spark Cup, but also from the Power Trophy as well.
I reckon that's still just around that 2-second mark between those two, that integer between them.
Not a huge gap at all. I can see that further back, it's Gabriele Maccarino's got ahead of Andy Inman now. May have had
A couple of laps ago, yeah.
I just noticed that out of our window. They're still in very close formation, the two of those battling for 4th and 5th positions overall. We're watching the leaders at the moment. They come over the line, and I think you're right, that gap's not much difference to the 1.98 seconds that it was at the end of lap 6. Just wait for the screen to update
down
itself.
a chunk.
At the end of lap 7.
1.55.
Yeah, so they've got a lot to choose between them. Hill getting a little bit closer still. So, will we have a grandstand finish here? Well, 8.5 minutes still to go, plenty of time for it to unfold. This is the battle for 3rd in the Twin Spark Cup class again. It's still James Ford ahead of Toby Broom there in the 33 car. Toby, who's 51 years of age, from Linfield, a data architect. Started racing back in 1994, did Toby, but has had a long gap out of racing. And this 2-litre car from around about the year 2000, prepared by Bianco Auto Developments. He's renting the car this weekend, and he says on his commentary form here that he was looking forward to racing again this season after 28 years out of the car. So he started racing in 1994 and probably stopped again, so a long gap before his return, and he's having a good race here with James Ford for 3rd in the Twin Spark Cup class. Way down to Clervaux Corner. Ford having to push hard there. He missed the apex by a distance there. As Broom piles on the pressure. The leaders just go past our commentary box again. I think the lead might have come down again. It was 1.55 at the end of lap 7. It's 1.42 at the end of lap 8 because Tom Hill's just done a personal best lap of the race of 1:33.69. The slow car, John Billingsley slow. That's the number 8 car, the Twin Spark Cup leader. John Billingsley is going to be out of the race. He pulls into the short circuit cut through that's not very often used, and he is out of the race. That hands Andrew Bork, the Twin Spark Cup lead, of course, and that makes this the battle for 2nd place within the Twin Spark Cup. 23 James Ford and 33 Toby Broom.
And that was getting exciting because James Ford got a little bit oversteery through there. Now it's in the back of the car, pogoing again round Sunny.
Absolutely right. And they've got quite a gap to make up to Andrew Bork, so I'm not sure they're going to catch him. And equally a good gap back to Richard Ford, James's brother, who's in 4th position. Into the complex they come for the 8th time in their race. 6 minutes left on the clock in this 20-minute HITEK Electric
Here's a chance for Broom to cut back, but he's gone out a little bit wide, just out onto the curb. That's hampered his exit speed.
Yes, and now there's a bit more of a gap between these two, between Ford and Broom. And it is the 33 car that we can see, the Bianco Auto Developments prepared car being rented by Toby Broom. New fastest lap for Scott Austin, so those problems that he was having is putting behind him, and he's got that gap back out now to more than 3 seconds, 3.77 seconds in fact over Tom Hill, 1:32.07, and that's well outside the lap record of 1:29.618 set by Barry McMahon. That may well have been last year when the Alfas were here. It was part of a Ferrari festival event, support race to that. So actually this this battle for second in the Twin Spark Cup class. Ford, the clinical pharmacist. In this car that he's prepares himself, although he's supported by Bianco at racing events. Built the car back in 2012 as 156 Twin Spark. As well as racing in the Alps, he's done a 4-hour endurance race at Zandvoort in the past, over in the Netherlands. Now a Grand Prix venue once again.
Yeah, much change from the original layout, which opened in the back end of the 1940s.
So Broom getting a bit closer to him now. Black and white driving standards flag for somebody. Again, we know not who, because the numbers are pointing in the wrong direction for us to see on that shot. Towards the drivers, of course. And again, he's pogoing, he's missing the apex. It's not very tidy from James Ford, but it's still somehow effective in keeping him ahead of Toby Broom. That's Andrew Bork just flashing through shot there. He's well, it says on our screen 2 seconds, and he looks like a little bit further ahead than that actually. Now in the Twin Spark Cup division.
Yeah, that the lead battle seems to fluctuate as well. Coming at 2.5.
Yeah, it's come down again then, hasn't it? From
Yeah.
3.7 on the previous lap. Still a nice little scrap going on as well, I can see, for 4th position overall between Gabriele Iaccarino and Andy Inman. The leaders now, or the leader is lapping this battle that we've been watching between Broom and James Ford. Got past Broom and getting past Ford as well. So possibly that's what's causing the gap to fluctuate a little bit between the two leaders. The fact
quite
that
possible.
there we go. There's
There it goes.
quite rapidly past us. Goes Scott Austin in the race lead. So we're on board there with James Ford. Couldn't just about live with Austin through the twisty complex, but as soon as he gets onto the start and finish straight, the gap will open up quite quickly between the two of them. And you've got Tom Hill as well. He's about to go past the 23 car of James Ford as well, but that all has split up a little bit, the two leads. We're going on to the last lap. The last lap board being shown a little bit early, it would seem. And we do have 1 or 2 cars to pick up after retirements during that race, not incidents as such, but breakages. This lap board has already been shown to Scott Austin. They were 1 lap earlier than it might otherwise have been. And he is 2.3 seconds ahead going on to this final lap of this HITEK Electronic Materials Alfa Romeo Championship race. Alfa's switching to 750 Motor Club affiliation a couple of years ago. Previously raced with the British Racing and Sports Car Club. Again, been a welcome addition to the paddock, as the F1000s were a couple of years earlier. Good to have a further variety on the 750 Motor Club bill. And there's Andrew Bork. You didn't need to get all the way off the road to allow the race leader to come through.
And that's compromised his speed quite dramatically.
It
The
has.
momentum has dropped off.
It has. So that's Tom Hill, the other of the leaders, to lap him there. Just as well, really, it's the last lap, because otherwise it might have closed the gap. Well, actually, no, it's just a big gap, isn't it, from Bork to James Ford. I think he could afford to take it easy. But the leader coming through the complex for the final time, just ahead of the car we're watching there, which is Andrew Bork. There's the last lap board. That's going to be replaced by the checkered flag, and there is the checkered flag, and it's going to be shown to Scott Austin, who's going to win for the 3rd time this season in the HITEK Electronic Materials Alfa Romeo Championship race. He wins overall, he wins the modified class, and Tom Hill takes 2nd place in the end, 1.75 seconds behind the race leader. Might have been a bigger victory margin for Austin were it not for the issues that we suspect that he had. We might find out from Tom, yes, whether he did have some suspension issues, as we think he might have done. So the first 2 cars have gone through, and then we've also had through the 3 Twin Spark Cup podium finishes: Andrew Bork, James Ford, and Toby Broom, and Richard Ford as well, indeed. So we're just waiting for a few of the sort of back-marking cars from the first wave. 3rd place is going to be Graham Seeger in the number 5 car. He's had a very quiet race all on his own, but there's been a good scrap for 4th and 5th between Gabriele Iaccarino or Gabs as he prefers to be known, who only started racing last year, the CEO of Attuned Technology Limited.
Got back past him, man.
He has, hasn't he, on the last lap, to take the 4th place in the 3.2 litre V6 Alfa Romeo GT, a car that he bought in Amsterdam just before the first lockdown, prepared it himself as a hobby to keep himself busy in lockdown, and then decided to race it. So there we go. Let's have a look at the results of the Alfa Romeo Championship race, backed by HITEK Electronic Materials, in just a second. There we go. Scott Austin confirmed as the winner, 1.76 seconds clear in his number 156 car, ahead of 75 Tom Hill in 2nd place. In 3rd place it's number 5 Graham Seeger, 4th number 97 Gabriele Iaccarino, and 5th number 80 Andrew Inman. And 6th place in winning the Twin Spark Cup class was number 86 Andrew Bork from 23 James Ford, 33 Toby Broom, 9 Richard Ford, and 100 Robin Hall. Those were the only finishers. If we do see anyone on the next screen, they didn't finish. John Billingsley and Andy Page both pulled off within about 50 yards of one another on the exit of Tower Corner.
And the Alphas are back out again tomorrow.
Yes, they are. So have another race for the HITEK Electronic Materials Alfa Romeo Championship race tomorrow. Still more racing to come here this afternoon, though, at Croft Circuit. And don't forget, the 750 Motors Club have a very full programme of racing after this weekend at Croft. So the next meeting we have some content at Castle Combe on June the 11th and 12th, the 5 Club OX5s and the Hot Hats Championship. That's going to be at Castle Combe, but the next full 750 Motors Club meeting is at Pembrey on the 18th and 19th of June, where we have the 116 Trophy. We have 750 Formula, Classic Stock Cats, the Clio Sport Championship, Historic 750 Formula, Low Costs, Mazdas, Sports 1000, the Type R Trophy, and the Mighty Minis join us at Pembrey. First visit to Pembrey for the 750 Motor Club for a few seasons, so we look forward to going back to South Wales next month. And then the season continues with the following meeting being at Brands Hatch at the beginning of July, before we have events at Anglesey, Snetterton, Donington, etc., etc., throughout the rest of the year.
Quite a long old haul from here to Pembrey, 340 miles.
Yes, it would be, and thankfully I'm not going from here. But nevertheless, it's a good 4 hours even from Sutton Coldfield. Anyway, we'll hopefully hear from Tom Butterworth in a moment. I imagine he'll have our class winners. In fact, he is ready now, so let's go down to him in the pit lane.
And down here in the pit lane, and once again with your overall race winner, Scott Austin. Scott, once you've taken your balaclava off, allow me to present you with your garland.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations on the overall race win as well. What's it like out there? I've been asking everybody sort of how their race went and that kind of thing, but what's the track conditions like at the moment? How are you finding it out there? Is it slippy? Is it greasy? Is it perfect race conditions? Because you were out for practice this morning and it was quite cold and breezy, and it seems a lot warmer now.
Yes. Yeah, no, it's not much different from this morning, to be totally honest. Just had to warm the tyres up a little bit harder. Apart from that, it was fine.
Okay, and your race?
I lost second gear, so I was really slow out of the hairpin. And Roger. Tom was all over me in there, but I could pull away from him in the straight, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, just hanging on for the win, really.
So once you got into third, fourth,
I left it in third for the hairpin, and it was a bit slow, bogging down coming out. But then when it picked up, it was fine. But I don't think I'll have time to fix it for the next race, but it'll have to be what it'll have to be.
Well, fingers crossed for you. It kept you honest in that one anyway.
Yeah, dodging the seagulls down the start-finish straight.
You didn't fancy doing the years ago, Andrea Iannone, where he headbutted one in the MotoGP?
Oh, I didn't see that. No. Well, if he can fly through the window screen and then then I'd headbutt him, but otherwise, no.
Just try and dodge them as best you can.
Yeah, cheeky buggers, aren't we?
Well, thank you very much, Scott, and congratulations again on your overall win. So we will move down to second place. Second place on the road actually, and your V6 winner. So that's Thomas Hill. Hi Thomas, how are you?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. Yeah, very good.
Kept him honest.
Yeah, as I say, it was it was a tricky race, quite a warm one, I think. You know, trying to keep the tyres on side and keep them warm and not too hot, sort of thing.
Okay.
But as ever, you know, Revs Italia, stellar job with the car. Turns in really nice. Absolute handling is fantastic.
Scott was saying that he was having to work quite hard to keep the tyres warm, so you were obviously finding it the other way.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm typically quite aggressive in the opening lap, sort of thing. So I sometimes struggle a little bit with heat in the end of the race. But you know, to be honest, I think we managed to keep a decent pace, sort of thing. And as I say, just about hang on to Scott's coattails.
Okay, well, it was fantastic as well. So yeah, great action, and congratulations on your class win.
Cheers, thank
Thank
very
you.
much.
And we'll move on to Andrew Bork, who is your Twin Spark class winner. How was that, Andrew?
It was tough, hard bike, but yeah. I think for me, well, the aim was to try and get the start down, which we've done well, and then managed to get ahead of John. He actually passed me going into, I can't remember the name of the corner, but it was a right-hander before the back straight. Fair play, good move. And then, to be honest, he was edging every lap. And then he seemed to just pull in. I don't exactly know what happened with him, but you know, I was there to take the win, so you know, I'm happy with that one. So yeah, definitely.
Great stuff. All right, well, thank you very much, and congratulations on your class win. So we will move back over to our Road Sports Series very shortly. I think we're just going to have a short intermission, but the Road Sports Series will be up next. That will be followed by the F1000, and they will be our final two races of the day. Also, just one final thing. It's really clouded over here as well. And just while we've been doing the interviews, it was very nice and sunny earlier on. It's really clouded over now, so that could affect tyre temperatures going into the final two races. Thanks very much.